Okay, YouTube, I thought I'd get my update in. Not this last weekend, the weekend before was the weekend after Nationals, so we got the pressure washed and pulled all the cages out and did spring cleaning, so we can get into the buck barn. And if any of you have bucks or have done my deal with bucks in one area, then you know how much they can spray and their hair and everything. You know what it's like, so it's hard to even get in. So at least I can go through now and show everybody. We have some changes, obviously. Well, Payday's gone. He went off with at Nationals to a new home, but we'll start with this guy right here. And you've seen him before, just outside and younger, but this right here is the 2016 National Best Red New Zealand. This is Red Bull. He's my little boy that, not little boy, he was 6'8", and he won Best Red at Nationals here a few weeks ago. So just want to make sure you get to see him. He's in Payday's old cage. We were very fortunate and we won the Best Senior, Best 6'8", and Best Junior. The Best Senior went off to Maine. He was already sold before I had shown him, but he was Sugar Daddy, if y'all remember him. And then the Best Junior I'll be able to show you later, but Junior bucks. Down here we got Mars, big old Mars still right there. Let's go this way. And Nutrageous has moved into the barn. He's still showing, but he'll be breeding real soon. Polar Ice right here. Down here you're going to see a blue mini satin. This is my wife's buck for her mini satins, and she's going to get some Havanas we'll talk about in a little bit. But I moved all my wife's cages outside from the garage because, well, if anybody's had rabbits inside, you know how long it takes to get tired of that. Here's Almond Joy. Almond Joy got moved over here to one of the show cages to make room for the other bucks because he's going to get cycled out as a breeder buck. He's a 5-leg grand champion, most of you all know, but it's time to move on, and that's what's got to happen. So a new lady's going to be picking him up. And over here we've got my son's white doe. She is bred for our county fair, so to another white buck, so she's just here for him to have meat pins for his county fair. Down here's Smarty. You guys ain't seen Smarty in a long time. Old boy, this old guy here, boy, he is still quite a stud, isn't he? Made a lot of great babies. That Smarty Andy's combo is something else. Oh, I didn't even mention that. Let's go back to that real quick. Nationals, Nutrageous wants to sit like a weirdo. This guy, Mr. Nutrageous, was second place 6'8" broken buck. Second place at Nationals, just like York was the year before. His brother was second place junior buck. But Nutrageous was second place 6'8" buck. The buck that beat him, the judge said it could go either way, but the other buck was just a little bit harder, so that buck won that class. That buck went on to win Best Broken. So we were that close, maybe, to winning Best Broken and Best Red at Nationals. Pretty exciting. Polar Ice here, 5th place junior, or 6'8" buck at Nationals. So I had the 2nd and the 5th place. And we'll talk about the senior buck broken class. They're no longer here. But Ring Pop, he was the buck a while back. If y'all remember, I said he was a one-off buck. He was the only one I'm going to have in that breeding because I was never going to breed Andes to anyone else. Well, he was 3rd place senior buck. And then Toxic Waste, who was actually these guys' age. He was a 6'8", but I thought he was going to be over the 10-pound mark. He was the 5th place senior buck. 4 top 5s in the 2 classes of brokens at Nationals. And they're broken red, not broken black, of course. So that's pretty exciting. The does didn't fare as well. Different judge, different opinion. But the bucks, I definitely had a great weekend. Here's Icebreakers here. Good old buck. He got a lot of kids. He is Polar Ice's dad. And he's also Winter Fresh's dad. You'll see outside. And we'll try to talk about all them. Here's York. 16-leg Grand Champion York. Down here is Hubba Bubba. Hubba Bubba is a buck I traded Sunkist for last fall. He got moved to the bottom for my newer buck Gushers. This is Gushers, my senior buck here. And like I said, Red Bull, he's still a 6'8" for another month. But Gushers here is already a senior, so him and Red Bull are going to be showing together. So here's the buck barn for you guys at the moment. And let's go outside and talk about everything else. Alright, we're outside under the tree where the grow outs are. What's going to be happening really soon is tonight we're going to be tattooing half of these guys. They're at the tattoo stage, the 12-13 weeks. Half of them are, and half of them have another 2 weeks to go. But right now, some of these guys are going to be getting tattooed tonight, so I wanted to get this video in before I got to doing that, because there's a lot of empty holes inside after nationals from rabbits have sold and moved on. So these guys got to rotate in for some of the new babies to come out. So we'll talk about this. If you guys remember the Smarty Andes litter, here they are. There's 6 of them, 6 beautiful broken reds, and they are cream of my crop usually. I really love this breeding. Got 4 bucks and 2 does. I'm really hoping on another good doe out of there to go along with Atomic, because I've got York and I've got Nutrageous. So you've seen, these are national winners, these litters right here. I mean, they're the bomb. I mean, most of them, all of them are very competitive and do, but these are my best ones. Even my ones that can't quite win when they're with me, they go with other people and they win. So that's pretty exciting. But these guys will be getting tattooed tonight along with these guys. This is Payday and Hot Tamales. This is half of their litter. They had 6. The other 3 are over in another hole because they got out of here one day and were all over the ground, and they get wet whenever it's raining. So just for safety reasons, I don't like to have my rabbits on the ground like that. And when you're dealing with show rabbits, I put the other 3 in another cage. Nothing wrong with them, they're fine, but I just wanted to do that. You'll see them in here in just a second. And let's just get through all these. Here is a Hubba Bubba and Atomic Fireball. I've already got rid of a couple of the booted brokens, but there's one. He's a buck, he's going to go on. And then there's the darkest one, this one here. This is Almond Joy and Gummies. They're one baby that I fostered over, and then them 2 there are Hubba Bubba and Atomic Fireball. He might be getting his tattoo. The others can wait 2 weeks. These guys are waiting. This is Mars and Strawberry. Mars and Strawberry, they got 2 bucks, 2 does. Well, their 2 brothers that are older one of them was the one that won the junior buck class at nationals, and his brother was 5th. But we can talk about it in a minute. But their older brother that was 5th had been beating the other one and had like 3 or 4 legs on him before we got there. And then the brother that I thought was better actually won nationals. So another good cross, obviously. So we'll keep that. The Mars and Sugar Babies, they got 3 in here. They're getting tattooed tonight, so they'll be getting separated out. They're going to be getting separated out into the condos, like you all know about, and by 2s, 2 of them at a time, 2 bucks or 2 does in each one of them. Here we have Hubba Bubba Bit of Honey, the solids, and then Icebreakers and Peppermints are the 2 brokens. And all of these will be getting tattooed tonight and moved on. And then over here we have York and Trident. They're not getting tattooed quite yet. They have 3 solid reds, a little bit lighter. They're both brokens, of course. And then you got York's first babies right there. First 2 brokens chilling out right there. Then we have Mars and Mamba. Mamba's very first litter with Mars. Look at these beasts. Pretty happy with that. I wish I'd have bred them back together this time, but it had Hubba Bubba in there instead. But next time she'll go back to Mars, I'll tell you that. York and Bubblicious. This one here has no nose markings. She's a nice little doe. She'll make some youth very happy as a breeder, I'm sure of that. Got a couple Charlies in there, right here. This no nose, 2 real pretty ones, and then a solid. If any of you follow my our Facebook page, this guy here is the little one that I had on my chest in a picture that was so cold, and I warmed him up and brought him back. There he is right there, pretty neat. Alright, we're going to talk about something out here, something a little bit different. You'll notice I have a little shade screen here. And we have this cage that was right on the other side of this fence. This is where Gummy Bears is. And Sugar Babies. And her litter from Hubba Bubba. Cute little guy. And then right here we just have the other three of Payday and Hot Tamales litter that I talked about. These are the three escape artists that got out, stuck them in there, totally fine. They're getting tattooed tonight and get their own new holes. But this cage had to come out here to make room for my wife's cages. And we'll talk about that real quick. My wife's cages are here, but she's getting a new one. It'll be right here. It's going to be a 6-hole like these guys right here. This 4-hole will be like a 6-hole here. The reason that's a 4-hole is because that's Strawberry, if you remember Strawberry from in the garage. Anyway, so right here will be her 6-hole for her grow outs for her Havanas, and here's 3 of her doe cages for her Havanas. We're getting 2 of those this weekend, and the other 2 we're gonna get 4, I guess. Wasn't planning on that, but that's what we're getting. Some friends are helping us out get started on them, and she's gonna do black and broken black, preferably the broken black Havana. But that gets her some smaller breed. It's more like the New Zealand. The mini satins we're enjoying, but I more like the body type of a New Zealand, and the temperament of the Havana seems to be pretty neat, so we're kind of excited about that. But anyway, here's Miss Strawberry. She's bred. She'll be due here in a couple more weeks yet. But she's outside now, so I think she likes it out here. And here's some of my wife's mini satins. If y'all haven't seen mini satins, these little guys right here. Little blue mini satins, and her broken mini satin. I don't think I've ever really showed you all these. Another blue doe and another blue doe, and that blue buck was inside. That blue buck that was inside, he was the best blue at an ARBA convention. The guy gave him to us, a good friend of ours, and we really appreciate that. But he gave him to us to help us out, and that was pretty awesome. So we've got some real high quality of these going. And these are some of the ones she's showing. These 5 here are the ones she's going to start showing. And then she's got some more open holes yet. And these cages, as you can tell, they're on the roller bases. They're not on the legs like my normal ones. Well, after this weekend, when we get this cage, we're also getting the legs for these, and they'll pop up. And then we'll get the little white dividers like I like to keep in between each cage, just to keep health reasons, whatever, just keep everybody separated. It's a good thing to do. So this is my wife's area, other than Strawberry. So yeah, I had to give in, and that's compromising, you know. You want to have that, and so I had to give up that one 8-foot cage, right? So we had those three holes in that 8-foot. Is going to make all these new holes because of stackers. All these new holes in that same area. Well, we all know pans are a pain, but look how many more you can fit in. And not that we want to cram them, but you know, it's just nice to be able to have a few. She's just doing that for fun, and it's not a big deal. It's just totally for fun. 2 little breeds, might end up going down to 1 if she likes one over the other. You know how that goes. Anyway, can't get any of my New Zealand cages, right? Alright, this little guy here is Big League Chew and Bubblicious' buck that I kept out of that big litter. And they were at Nationals. They all did really good. They were top 10s. And they were 4.5 months old. I don't even think they were 4.5. They were 4 months and a week old. And they made the top 10 in the Brokens. That's pretty impressive. This is his sister. The same breeding. I just love this doe. Super round doe, just gorgeous. And these guys are closing in on their 5 months now, so they're getting ready to show them prime. Man, they're pretty dang excited. Pretty excited about them. But yeah, I was just so ecstatic that I had those young ones like that. Now these guys haven't shown yet. These 3 Brokens. They just, at the time, I don't know why, they were actually older. I just didn't really, I was like, whatever, I don't really need them. But this here is Hubba Bubba and Candy Corn, my Charlie over there. And you can tell all their hair's kind of frizzy right now. Well, we got a lot of rain. It's moist out, so pardon their coats. This guy is super dark red, isn't he? Just gorgeous. Love this guy. So that breeding is actually just taking place again. I just did it again. She's bred that way for meat pens at the state fair for my boy, but hopefully we get a bunch more like this to get back in the program. Just gorgeous dark broken red. And then you got this guy and this guy. So let's hope they turn out good. This doe here is the junior doe that I kept. She was 5th place junior doe. Again, my does didn't do as well with that other judge, but still, I mean, I know she's fabulous. But different opinions. One guy's opinion one day. Anyway, this doe is Almond Joy and Gummy Bears, and Almond Joy is the buck I was just telling you I was moving on. Well, that's all right. I'm probably keeping this little girl right here out of them. So. All right, here we go. This is Mars and Strawberry's buck that had been winning like crazy over all my other junior bucks. Just only like maybe 4 shows in 2 weeks that I got to before nationals, and this guy was winning all those as a junior buck, and then one was winning best red. So he was beating all my seniors and everybody. He's just gorgeous. Well, his brother here, I had him, and he was second to him all the time. So I'm like, well, I'm going to hold on to these two. And I almost put this guy in the auction at nationals, but good thing I didn't, because this guy ended up 5th at nationals, and this guy got a 1st place win. So he's the national 1st place junior buck right here. But I have these two brothers who are just excellent to each other, and you know how it goes with rabbits. Keep them, because one of them might die or have a problem or whatever. And so whenever I do decide which one, the other one, someone's going to be loving that one. Let me tell you. All right, down here we got a little white buck that's out for my son. He's just one that had thrown out, you know, like I said, every time I get one. He's a nice little buck. He needs to get his fur and condition better before show. Here's Winterfresh. Winterfresh, not sure if we talked about it. A best in show win for her. And she got to stay here, so she's still showing, but she has a best in show. And for Broken Red, I think we talked about that, but my first Broken Red best in show, that's her. And everybody else here is empty. And that's where all those tattoo guys got to go. All these were sold at nationals, opened up cages, everything's been pressure washed, and that left also those 4 holes. So I've got 18 holes open where I'll put 2 grow outs in each one, and basically they'll get cut down from there, who or whatever. Right now they'll go to the tattooing, and if they make the grade and get a tattoo, they'll come out here, like I said, by pairs. Everybody else goes the other way, and then those ones that get tattooed will be either worked off for sale or shown. That's how the system works. We're going to talk about this girl here. This is Peeps. And Peeps is getting ready to have babies, so we probably ought to be really kind of nice to her. She's due tomorrow, and Peeps was my senior doe. She's Hot Tamale's daughter and Payday's daughter. So the Payday Hot Tamales cross, this is it. And this girl here won best in show in Iowa 2 weeks before nationals. So 2 best in shows this year, one with a red, one with a broken, super ecstatic. Yeah, she won best in show and almost won it again. They gave it to the Satin the 2nd show, but pretty excited about that. She has a bunch of best varieties. She has a bunch of legs. I have no idea. They haven't even all came in yet. But super excited about that. Payday and Hot Tamales are both gone. Her mother, Hot Tamales, is at my friend's house. It's not one that I let to sell, so I elected to give it to a friend that's a local here who raises meat rabbits. So she went that way, and I breed them for him, and I get to look at them and see if there's anything. But I didn't want Hot Tamales being my first national winner that I raised. I didn't want to get rid of her, so she went to my friend, so she's close to me still. I can keep an eye on her. And down here is Bit of Honey, and Bit of Honey is she's pregnant, and I think with Mars babies. I think I got all that written down. But down here's Mamba. Mamba had her babies, and you're not going to get to see them today. The warm days have been wonderful. Everybody's been out so you can see them. But this girl had 16 babies. 16. What was she thinking? Well, I left 7 with her, and I gave 5 to another doe, and the others were born dead. So what did that leave? 4 of them were dead in there with the 16, I think. And I gave 5 to Atomic. And Atomic had one marked one from Smarty, which is her dad. I just don't have a buck to breed her to that's not going to produce a bunch of whites. And Smarty still did the same thing with her. So I've got a buck now, and Polar Ice is her new mate now that he's old enough. But she had one marked one with Smarty, and then I gave her the 5 red ones. She had 12, couple stillborn, the rest were Charlie. I don't like big litters because you're show rabbits, you don't want a big litters. They don't all make it. Here's Smarties and Andes. I can't remember what we have in there. Honestly, I don't mess with them that much, just so I don't spook moms and all that. But she's got a bunch of marked ones, a couple solids in there, one dark solid it looks like in there. Pretty excited about that. And Candy Corn here, she's got 8. So you get the Charlie. We've talked about that. Well, I know we talked about this probably last video. But you get the Charlie and you breed it to a red, you guaranteed get all brokens. Well, this time I got all brokens, but they're all booted. So hopefully there's a really nice doe out of that, because I'd like to have that in my brokens if they're really good. And I'll use that booted doe, or anyone else. But hopefully there's a bunch of does and people can use these. And they can use them for with some of my broken bucks. Over here we've got Bubblicious, who's bred, just kind of waiting it out. She's in between, and Peppermints, and Mars and Hot Tamales. Hot Tamales last litter, she only had one that survived, and that's out of Mars. So I brought it over here, and I got her rebred and sent her to my friend's house. And then Peppermints here has these 3 little broken. She had 4 pretty brokens left, and one of them just, sorry about that, phone memory got full. I think I left off with saying that she had the 3 little brokens here, and one of them had broke its legs. It had 4, broke its back, and I had to put it down. Over here is Icebreakers and Trident litter. She's got a few pretty marked ones in there. I'm sorry, it's a cool day. The warm days, they've all been out up on top, but you know, that's what it is. I don't want to mess with them. You'll get to see them pretty soon. Probably do a quick video not too long from now when I get those new rabbits for my wife and we get everybody separated out. I'll really try to do that for y'all. But this is Almond Joy and Jolly Rancher. They had 3, and Jolly is rebred now, and these guys will be getting weaned here pretty soon, before she has them, obviously. A lot of these were for state, I think she was for the state fair meat pens, yeah. Her breed timing. Look at this girl, gosh, she's beautiful. And then again, all these were open. So we've pretty much covered everything and talked about everything. But yeah, we're pretty excited. We had 3 national wins, class wins, and a bunch of top 5s. A bunch of top 5s. Had a really good national. So these 2 boys here, just love them. This guy being your national junior buck, then the senior buck that we won with, Sugar Daddy. We talked about him before in other videos. He's off. He actually lives in Maine now. So I think I had rabbits go to 8 different states after nationals, or from nationals. And nationals was the 8th state we had shown in since the first of the year. Crazy spring. We went wild and crazy, just running like crazy. That's not going to happen anymore. We're taking it back. We're going to relax a little while and enjoy the summer. But we do have a show this weekend that all these guys are going to get to go to before the summer break for us. And again, Red Bull Inside was the 2016 National Best Red. So look for Red Bull to start pumping out some babies before long. Red Bull had won Best Opposite Sex Breed down in Louisiana back in February. So he had a few big wins, quite a few, and then he got this one. So that was pretty exciting. Actually, 2 weeks before Nationals, story on Red Bull, 2 weeks before Nationals, he's inside. It's not these guys, the one I showed you very first. 2 weeks before Nationals at a show over in Illinois, he won his class, and the judge was putting him back in his holding cage to go to the next class, and he got dropped, got his toenail hung up, and ripped his toenail off and was bleeding all over the place. And I thought, oh no, 2 weeks before Nationals, he's not going to get it. He lost his toe. Well, I looked, it was just the toenail. So then the bed of the toenail was growing back out by then, thank goodness, and he went on to win Best Red, so that was kind of a close call. I really don't know what else to talk about. I've kind of covered everything. And again, my wife's section. And I got all the nest boxes up here, the extra ones that aren't in right now. So everything's all nice and clean and feels good for the spring and getting ready for summer. Last year I cleaned everything just before Nationals, more earlier in the spring. Well, you know how bucks are in the spring, and they marked everything. So this year I thought I'm going to wait till after Nationals, a little bit later in the year, and get them all pressure washed out and probably hit them again this fall. But anyway, we'll get these cages raised up off the ground a little higher, not just on the roller bases. And again, you saw that cage out here is out here now with a nice little screen in front. Everything's still under roof, and it worked out wonderful for us. So really not too much else to talk about, and we will get those guys tattooed up and get them all separated out and get them in here, and hopefully do another video before too long for you. Thanks for supporting the channel, guys. We really appreciate it. So long.